Olá pessoal, sou Carlos Pupo, editor do site Headbangers News e estou aqui com Sami Chohfi. Sami é cantor e compositor, volta ao Brasil com uma turnê Where is the Way, que passa por Santo André, Rio de Janeiro, Botucatu e Ribeirão Preto. A série de shows celebra a liberdade de ser diferente e a conexão do artista com o público brasileiro. Sami nasceu na Califórnia, tem raízes brasileiras, vive em Seattle e construiu sua carreira com base em experiências vividas ao redor do mundo. Vamos começar essa conversa. Sami, let's do this.
Let's do it, brother.
Where This Away isn't just a name of tour. It sounds like a manifesto.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
at a point in your life, did you realize that being weird could be a strength rather than a weakness?
I think everybody who is different is unique. I think everybody who turns to rock and roll, especially, right? I mean, I remember growing up as a kid watching MTV and thinking, "Wow, those guys are different. Those guys are weird. They're kind of geeky. They're kind of strange." That's how I feel. And I connected with them. It's like I want to paint my nails and I want to grow my hair long and wear black and play guitar and and rock out and be different and rebel. And I feel like Weird is the Way is a celebration of exactly that, connecting with that part of yourself that is different and unique. And it always reminds me of this song from Weezer where it's called In the Garage from the Blue album, where he talks about how he's proud about his Dungeon Master's Guide, right, from Dungeons and Dragons. And he's got his Kiss posters on the wall and, and all of these really cool, nerdy things. And like Weezer was always that band that celebrated being a nerd and being a geek. And I've always connected with that message. And I take it a step further and I try to include, I make it very important, Carlos, to include everyone at my shows, no matter what your preference sexually is, or how you identify, or what you believe. We are all connected. We're all connected through art and music, and being human beings. And so this tour is a connection of that, to reconnect myself with my fans here in Brazil, to meet new fans. It's all
Cool.
very special.
And my second question is very related. Uh, um, your tour strongly focus on create a safe space for outsiders.
Yes.
And
Yes.
how do you see the role of the music offering that kind of refugee to the people? Because
I
the
feel like,
music can turn pain in beauty, for example.
of,
And
of
do you
course,
have
yes.
any fan story to that deeply move you in that way?
Lots of stories. I remember I was once singing a song about child abuse and overcoming child abuse. I've had a very difficult life. My family's had a very difficult life. I've had friends who've had very difficult lives, but I will say this, hearing someone else speak your pain, hearing someone else speak your pain in a way that it isn't weakness, it's spoken a way of strength, sometimes rage, right? Rage makes us beautiful, right? Because we're able to
True.
expel all that anger and in a very productive and creative and equal way. So I've had fans who come to me at the end of the show and crying because they said, "Thank you for saying what someone needed to say for me." I've had that happen, and that is a very special moment in the sense of like, wow, we really are all the same. We really are all connected. I'll tell you, Carlos, I've had the pleasure of being in many different places in this world, and the only thing that separates us really is the language we speak.
Yeah, it's true.
That's it.
And
That's it.
speak about it. You write songs inspired by places as diverse as India, Costa Rica, and Brazil. Which place challenge you artistically in an unexpected way?
Man, I don't. I have to tell you. I think so. Brazil is why is Brazil unique? And I don't think people realize this until they come here and spend some time here. Brazil is unique in many ways, but similar to some countries. Brazil, the fans in Brazil, people who love music and just music goers in general, are very much like India. Okay, it's like when I played in India, I felt like there was a part of it that's like, man, this feels like Brazil because they're very connected to the sound and the emotion of the melody more so than the lyrics because you get a lot of international artists here and people don't speak English sometimes in these countries, right? But India is the same way. A lot of people don't actually speak English as much as we think they do, and they react in a very similar way emotionally, and I think it's because Brazilians are very driven by love and passionate. They're passionate people, and being so passionate and emotional has them react to things in a much more grandiose way, like a concert, right? Like a live experience. So Brazil inspires me every day to remind myself to make music that's going to move you. Make music that's going to make you want to feel and move and be a part of a collective energy. That's what I love about Brazil. And Brazilians are actually very similar to Cambodians in the sense of how much they love and how much they have a passion for food and family, you know. I always have been very, very connected to Brazil, and I always will be.
Cool. And the other question is, Seattle is the birthplace of grunge. Uh,
Yes, it is.
how does that influence still shape your songwriting today, even as you mix in global sounds?
Well, Seattle, I grew up with MTV, Carlos, and I'm sure you did too,
Yeah.
and remember waking up super, super early in the morning, 2 hours before school, just to watch MTV so I could watch Alice in Chains and Soundgarden and Nirvana and the Stone Temple Pilots and the Smashing Pumpkins and Nine Inch Nails. And so I would watch all these bands. And I learned how to play guitar by listening to a band called Tool. I don't know if you've ever heard of Tool, but I used to, what I used to do as a kid is I used to buy these books that would have all the tablatures, the guitar notation, and
Mm.
I would study and study and study and study everything from Green Day to Tool to you name it. And all those things that you learn as a kid stick with you all the way until you're an adult. It's amazing because you'll talk to people who are older than you and they're like, "Oh, the best time in music was this time." It's the time that they first heard music. It's the first time that it was a connection to them, you know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me, it was 1994. 1994, 1995. So everything that came out in that year has become a part of my DNA. It's the music that courses through my veins, and that's the 90s rock. So even though my music is very different than a lot of the bands that I love, there's always little hints of these bands in my songs. Maybe a chord or two, or a lyric or two, or a melody or two. There's always something that kind of is like, oh, I can't think of what that reminds me of, but it reminds me of, it's from the
Yeah.
90s for sure.
And uh, you always seems to be surrounded by Brazilian artists.
Mm.
Do you think there's something in the musical soul of Brazil that attract or connect you with in a special way?
You know what? It's the universe sends us signs, Carlos. The universe tells us things all the time. Here's the three messages the universe has told me, okay? Number one, Brazilians are going to be in your life always and forever. I was looking for a drummer on an application in Seattle called Bandmix, okay?
Yeah.
I sent a message to, I don't know, 10, 15 drummers, right? That were interesting. The only one that I connected with happened to be from Brazil. Marco, right?
Yeah.
So and Marco and I have nothing in common musically. Like, he doesn't listen to the same bands, he doesn't play the same style as I do normally, but we're very close, very like brothers, which is more important in a band than anything, is being close with the people. So Marco wasn't the first Brazilian that came into my path. Obviously, I married a Brazilian woman, because Brazilian women are the best, believe it or not. and and then the universe continues to show me, okay, so Brazilians are going to be in your life. What else does the universe want to show me? All good things that have happened to me, Carlos, in my career have happened because I was playing live show. Anytime I play a live show, even if there's 4 people in the audience, something good always happens. I always meet somebody or another good opportunity happens. My wife, Renata, who reconnected with me after many, many, many years, she reconnected with me because she saw me on Facebook doing a concert. And so, again, the universe is telling me, okay, good things will happen as long as you play live. So you have to listen to these messages that the universe tells you. And so Brazilians are always going to be a part of my life. And I think that's a great thing. It really is. It's beautiful.
And how is the chemistry on the stage with Andy Marco?
I mean, look, I tell you. So Andy has a lot of really, really good vibes. He's one of those people who he's a father of 2. And Marco actually has a daughter too. I don't have any kids. My kid is music, right? My kids are right here on the wall. See, those
Uh-huh.
are my baby. But yeah. So playing with Marco and I call him Andy. His name is Anderson, but Andy. He It feels like we've been a band for a long time. We when you kind of have this kindred spirits, they call it in English, kindred spirits. It's like the first time you speak to someone on the phone or the first time you meet someone, you just feel like you've known them for a long time. That's how it is with Marco and Andy. And you can see it on stage. And we're a power trio, Marco in the middle, me over here, and Andy over here, or vice versa, depending on which side you are. We have this like it's like it's like the power triangle, and it's like on stage you feel that energy, you feel that connection. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we really do enjoy each other's company. We like each other as people. We understand each other, and I think that's what makes a good band.
Mhm, cool. And can you tell us a bit about the writing and recording process?
Sure,
Is there already
absolutely.
a track that stands out as a personal favorite?
Well, I'll tell you, Carlos, I'm always writing new songs, and as of right now, I can't pick between my children what my favorite song is. But what I do enjoy is the fact that I'm able to write rock songs in different genres. So I have my first album as a solo was Extraordinary World. It's an album of ballads with acoustic music, but with rock elements, so full band, right? I had Jean Dolabella. You know who Jean Dolabella is, the drummer?
Yes,
Yeah, he
ex
played the drums.
Sepultura.
Right.
Yeah.
He's the one who played the drums on all of that album. So we collabed on a lot of those songs. But that evolved into me continuing to do my hard rock. So because I have so many different types of songs in different rock genres, from alternative to grunge to hard rock, it's very, very hard to pick. But I will tell you this, live, the hard rock songs are the best, like Antisocial Butterfly, This Tragedy, Enemy, Anodyne, which is all on my new EP, Metamorphosis. And my new songs that I'm recording now, I actually did all the drum recording with Marco at a studio called Robert Lang Studios in Seattle. It's an iconic studio, Carlos, where the Foo Fighters and Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and all these amazing bands that we love recorded their albums. Even the Dave Matthews Band did their albums there. And Marco and I just recently went there and we did the drums in Seattle 2 weeks before we came here on this tour. There's a song on the album called Burn. It's very heavy. It's like people say it reminds them of No More Tears from
Yeah,
Ozzy.
yeah.
Uh, but it it is like if it does remind him of that, it's like imagine, No More Tears having like 50 Red Bulls, like, like just it's high energy, high octane. It's a lot of fun to play. So, as of right now, if I had to pick one song that's my favorite, it'd probably be the song I wrote for my fans called Bad Batch Crew.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you feel this album marks a break from your previous work? Um,
I think it connects it all, Carlos.
mm,
Like, so this new album I'm writing is called Sutures and Satellites. That's the name of the record.
mhm.
It's about recovering from scars and pain through dreams and living our lives at the best, kindest way we can. I feel like because of everything I've gone through in my life, not only with my music and my band, but in personal life, it has led me to writing these songs now that are just so vulnerable and honest that I feel like I'm finally getting to this point where I'm like, okay, is this as good as I get? If so, I'm happy. I'm happy as an artist because I'm an independent artist, Carlos. You don't see me playing Rock and Rio or on Global. I'm an indie. I'm indie 100% all the way. So, for me as an indie artist, you have to make goals. And the number one goal always is, how do I create my legacy as an artist? And that is making music that's true, unique, and honest. That's the most important thing. So this new album that I'm writing, Sutures and Satellites, where I'm actually playing 5 of the new songs off the record live right now at the shows, and people are responding very well, is really the culmination of everything I've done since 2008 as
And
an artist.
you talk about your music, be honest. Nowadays, when everything is so visual and fast-paced, uh, how do you deal with the pressure of staying active in social media without compromise your authenticity?
You make you live your life in a way where social media doesn't dictate it. So I worked with some social media marketing people. This is poisonous. It really
It's true.
is. It really
It's
is.
true.
And
I
so
agree.
I know what it is. I know what this is. I know what
Mhm.
all of this is. And we live in this world now. If you are an artist, you need to use it. I do it like this, Carlos. I balance. I say, okay, do I have something that I need to say or do today or show or feel? Then I take the time and I do it. I don't go, I don't agenda put in the, like, I don't go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I have to do social media at 6 o'clock. I don't do. I used to do that. It drives you crazy. It's too much pressure. That's not living life. You know what I mean? You're out on vacation and people are on their phones the whole time. You're at a rock concert and people are like, hey, they're
It's
forgetting
crazy.
to they're forgetting to experience the experience. And
Yes.
so I don't allow social media to dictate my life anymore. I promote my work, I promote my shows, I make funny videos sometimes because I choose to. I I've made the realization that the social media algorithms are going to do what the social media algorithms are going to do, regardless of how much I post or what I post. So I might as well enjoy my life as much as I can and do everything in moderation.
Yeah. And uh, if you could give one piece of advice to young people, how feel like outsiders or weird, what you it be?
This is my favorite question, Carlos. This is my favorite question. Um, and I hope this is the one that people hear from this interview. Um, I grew up in a very broken home with a very, very, very difficult father. My sister and I found solace and reprieve in music, in rock and roll music. Rock music is for rebels. It's for people who are they feel forgotten. Rock music is for people who feel different and strange and like an outsider who was never accepted by the social norm. Rock is for people who sometimes feel like they have a voice that's silenced, that is covered in a blanket. And I feel that if you feel this way, you're just like me. The only difference is I found a way to channel it through my music. If it wasn't for music, I don't know what kind of person I would be, Carlos. I don't know if I would be this very open and loving person and loving to meet and chat and connect with people as I do. But I will say this, if you're different, unique, if you're different or strange or weird, or you feel like you're a geek, you're amazing. You're special. You're not part of the social norm. You're not part of the vanilla Barbie doll convention. You are exactly how you need to be and who you need to be. And I think in the end of the day, everybody needs to realize this. And I tell this to everybody, like especially I call my fans, and I included myself, the Bad Batch crew, right? The in Portuguese, I think that's like o lote que não presta, something like that, right? Bad Batch crew. It's you're not forgotten, and you are not any different in a way where you don't deserve things. You just need to find your own voice, and I feel like everybody experiences the same fear, the same pain, the same doubts. And the moment we realize that we're all connected in that way, I feel like there is no separation. So you should be proud of your uniqueness. You should paint your nails and wear your eyeliner and grow your hair and wear black and rip jeans and, fuck it, rock and roll.
Do you believe that being an artist is more a gift or a responsibility?
It's a gift because it's a responsibility if you make it a responsibility. Here's what I mean. So if you're Dave Grohl and you are Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day,
Yeah.
if you're one of these massive artists, is it a responsibility once it is in a sense that you have a platform? You were given a platform and you have the responsibility to change people's lives with your success and your platform. You should say things that are going to help others, not make others feel excluded or bad. Now, if you are not one of those artists, it's a gift. It's a gift in the sense of you get to express yourself musically and creatively. I find the fact that I get to make Carlos, one of my favorite things is making music videos. And I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to watch any of my music videos, but
Yeah.
I feel like just like thinking of like videos like Complicated or Enemy or Little One. I think about these videos and I'm like, wow, what a great way to show people and remind myself why I do this, because the visual representation of a sonic representation coming together beautiful and perfect is magic, my friend. That is art at its finest. And I feel like as an independent artist, I have full control over this is how I want to represent this song, and this is how I want to represent its visual. Here it is. And for those of you who get to hear it and enjoy it, thank you. If not, I still have it for me. And that, Carlos, is a super gift.
I understand a lot about the music videos because I am MTV generation too. uh, and what does living authentically means to you today?
Living authentically, not living off yourself, not living every day on your cell phone for one, not trying to create an image of yourself that's not real, because this doesn't matter. There was a time that this didn't exist, and that is where you would, really identify with who you are. I'm terrified for this generation of of children, because they don't get to experience life the same way before cell phones.
That's true.
and now even AI.
Yeah.
So I would say this. I would say to everybody, because we're all part of the machine. We're all part of the machine. So because we're all part of the machine now, and we've all accepted, we've kind of had no choice. We've allowed it to happen. We're all part of the matrix, right? I would say that you have to take the time that you have to be with family and friends or experience beautiful things. Make time for those things. Don't include this in everything you do. Live your best life, because there's a beautiful world to see. There's beautiful places to be. There's amazing people like Carlos to meet. You know, these are the things that we need to value and remember and try to live in the moment. And that's how I try to remind myself this all the time.
Exist a life outside.
Oh yeah. No, there's times where I leave my cell phone at home, Carlos. I leave it here,
Yeah.
you know?
It's very
So
difficult because,
yeah.
for example, I am a journalist. For me, it's very difficult to stay out of social media, but for other persons, maybe it's possible.
It's hard for me too as an artist.
Mhm.
Especially now, I'm always on social media, but I think it's a difference between, I think here's the difference, Carlos, is are you doing things in your life for social media, or are you doing things in your life for your life? And then social media is a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
I think that's the balance, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to go to Brazil and do the Weird is the Way 2025 tour and play 4 shows. Now, I have to show that on social media. I have to share the moments and the experiences, but that's part of the life. Part of the me living my life is that, and social media is the byproduct of that, right? Versus, I need some social media content, so I'm going to go on tour and just play whatever and do whatever I can just to get people to, engage. No, that's not how you want to go about it. You know what I mean?
And um, almost we almost on the final of this interview. I want I want to do two more questions on
Please.
um, how do you balance your Brazilian connections with your life, US, and in and you w- want to give a message for your Brazilian fans and future fans?
Wow. Well, I balance my life with my Brazilian contacts the same as I balance my life with any of my other contacts. It's, I just versus, speaking English versus Portuguese, right?
And do you
Uh,
know a lot words in Portuguese?
I speak very good Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I know. I love the fact that we're doing this in English.
Yeah.
I know that you're going to have to put legenda, right, in
Yeah.
Portuguese, but I can express myself so much better in English, Carlos. If I was speaking Portuguese with you, it would be very broken. You would understand it because my Portuguese is pretty good. It
Yeah.
has to be pretty good, but it's not the same as my English, you
Yes,
know?
it's true because sometimes the words uh, uh, can lose can you it's never is the same expression. It's different,
Correct.
you know.
Por exemplo, vou falar português agora. Ah, eu sempre quero eu sempre quero fazer a melhor conexão com as pessoas brasileiras possível, porque eu acho meu conexão com o Brasil é muito especial, sempre foi. Então, durante essa tour e todos os próximos shows que eu vou fazer, eu sempre faço a mesma coisa depois do show. Mesma coisa, porque é mais importante que tudo. Eu sempre desço de palco e eu vou lá, um a um, conhecendo a galera, sabendo o nome, vida, qual música você gosta. Foi a primeira vez para mim ouvir. Ah, que bom. Qual foi a sua experiência? Sabe? Isso é super importante. Eu sei, eu acho que sem isso não tem conexão de verdade. sabe?
Muito obrigado.
Uhum.
Agradeço, Sami Chohfi. Confiram nas nossas redes sociais essa entrevista, curtam, sigam nossos perfis e um grande abraço e bons shows.
Thank you, brother. Grande abraço para
Thank you very
você e
much.
todo mundo. Tudo de bom para vocês.
Thank you.
I woke up today hating who I am. From start to